bucka. You know the deal.
So let's look at another example. Here again we're given a couple of pieces of information. The first piece of information we're given is how much money we have. And again, we're going to use that piece of information when we write the equation. The next piece of information is we're told information about how many coins Mr. Rogers has. So we have three unknowns here. We're told he has 3 times as many dimes as nickels and 6 more pennies than dimes. So again, you look at this information and you ask yourself, well, if I could know one of these, which one would I want to know first? And I would want to know the nickels, because if I knew how many nickels he had, then I could figure out how many dimes he has. And if I figured out how many dimes he has, then I would be able to figure out how many pennies he has. So since we want to know how many nickels there are first, that's what we're going to assign the variable to. So we would say, let x represent the number of nickels. Well, again here, with other unknowns, we want to try to avoid using a different variable. So we need to relate the other unknowns mathematically to the first unknown. Well, we're told he has 3 times as many dimes as nickels. So if we knew how many nickels he had, we would multiply that by 3 to get the number of dimes. We don't know the number of nickels, but we know the number of nickels is called x. To calculate the number of dimes, we multiply 3 times the number of nickels. In other words, 3x. So 3x is number of dimes. The next piece of information we're told is that he has 6 more pennies than dimes. Well, the number of dimes he has is called 3x. To write 6 more than that, we have to write 3x plus 6. And that will calculate the number of pennies he has. So once again, now we need to take this information and relate it to the amount of money he has. So he has $4.62 in total. We know that he has X number of nickels, but to calculate how much money that is, well, to know how much money we have in nickels, we multiply 5 times the number of nickels. In this case, the number of nickels is X. So if we want to know how much money that is, it's 5 times X. With dimes, dimes are worth 10 cents, so to calculate how much money we have in dimes, we multiply 10 times the number of dimes. In this case, the number of dimes is 3x, so we multiply 10 times 3x. Now the nice thing with pennies is pennies are only worth 1 cent. So if I want to know how much money I have in pennies, I multiply the number of pennies times 1. But multiplying a value times 1 really just keeps it the same. So with the pennies, we can just keep that expression exactly the same. Now the total amount of money he has here is $4.62. Again, because I've taken the decimal out of this, I've written 5 cents as 5 instead of 0.05 and 10 cents as 10 instead of 0.10. I have to write the total amount of money he has in cents. If he has $4.62, that means he has 462 cents. So to get the total amount of money, we would add all of these values together. So in order to solve this, well, once again, we need to simplify. So if there's any math we can do here, we have to do that math first. So here we can multiply 10 times 3x, and 10 times 3x will give us 30x. So we're going to go ahead and leave the 5x as it is. We multiply that 10 times 3x, that gives us 30x. And then we have plus 3x plus 6 still. Now we've got a bunch of x terms that we can add together, because those are like terms. I'm not going to change the right side at all. Yeah, that's still 462 cents. So 5x plus 30x plus 3x, that'll give us 38x. And we still have that plus 6. Well, now that I've done all the simplifying that I can do, we need to go about isolating the variable. So we have to get rid of times 38 and plus 6. When we're isolating the variable, we follow the opposite of BEDMAS, so I get rid of addition before I get rid of multiplication. That plus 6 we're going to bring over to the other side. So we're left here with 38x is 462 minus 6. we've got a little bit of simplifying to do there. Again, we have 38x is 456. And now we're going to get rid of that times 38 by dividing by 38. If I divide this side by 38, I have to divide this side by 38. Multiplying by 38 and dividing by 38 essentially cancels itself out. And 456 divided by 38 equals 12. So that tells us that we have 12 nickels because x represented the number of nickels. If we have 12 nickels, then we have 36 dimes because we have 3 times as many dimes. And if we have 36 dimes, then we have 42 pennies. Because we were told we have 6 more pennies than we do dimes. And if you were to go ahead and actually calculate how much money that is, you should find that it's $4.62.